The one-arm pull-up is one of the most iconic and one of the most famous exercises in calisthenics, and for what is my point of view, has always been definition of strength, definition of power, something I wanted to learn when I was younger, when I was a teenager. The problem is that to achieve your first one-arm pull-up, it can take months, it can take years in a safe way, which is something that many people they don't give for granted. And when I say safe way, I mean no injury, no problem to your elbow or your shoulders. So recently I was scrolling on YouTube looking for video about one-arm pull-up because I was curious. What other content creators think about the one-arm pull-up, what their advice is. And something that I noticed is that many of those videos are about exercise that are labeled as a must exercise, or don't do this exercise because it's useless. Now the secret of one-arm pull-up is that many exercises are very effective. You just need to know when to introduce them in the right spot, in the right moment of your program. One example is the archer pull-up. So the archer pull-up is an exercise where you hang it on a bar, usually with twice your shoulder width, and you shift your body towards one arm while the other one is assisting, usually in a straight position. Obviously, it requires some prerequisites. In my opinion, at least 12 to 15 straight pull-up and a decent amount of wide pull-up as well. Why wide pull-ups, you're wondering now? Well, if you compare the two movements, they look very similar, at least in the first degree of the movement, where you have a very wide grip. This type of specificity is not covered by the straight pull-up. These prerequisites, they allow us to start our progression, minimizing the risk of injury, and also starting it with a decent amount of volume. Obviously, if you have 2-3 archer pull-up, you cannot start your progression, it becomes impossible. I still see too many people don't do this exercise properly because they lack of strength and they do any type of compensation like keeping with the legs or losing their scapula. But probably the worst compensation is because of a lack of strength. People tend to assist too much with the other arm and you internal rotate the arms, putting too much stress on the shoulder that is already in an overhead position, and this is in the long run, it can cause some problems, some issue to the shoulder stabilizers. These mistakes can be done in two ways: bending your arm or keeping your arm straight. But it's proper of those people that prefer a grip where they place the thumb over the bar. Instead, try to keep a normal grip. This will help you to keep your arm in a neutral position. Now, at the beginning of the video, I explained that any type of exercise in one-arm pull-up can be potentially useful if you want to achieve the one-arm pull-up. So the main question is, in what part of your progression you want to use your archer pull-up? Now, as I already said, the archer pull-up in its ways is more specific than a pull-up if you want to get your first one-arm pull-up, because it like gives you a first idea what does it mean having all of your body weight on one arm, depending on one arm, or at least part of your body weight on one arm. But it still differ too much from a one-arm pull-up. So my advice is, after you had a good preparation, which includes, as I already said, getting a good number of straight pull-up, getting a good number of wide pull-up, checking your mobility, if is everything alright. If you lack of strength in other district of your body, in other specific part of your body, and so many other factors, after you have this good preparation, you can start training a bit more specific for the one-arm pull-up, and you can use the archer pull-up as maybe not as main progression. Okay, in the first period it can be a main progression, but more like an accessory work. So let's say, for example, that you got your 15 straight pull-up and your 10 wide pull-up, and now you start working with the weighted pull-up, which is another good way to get your one-arm pull-up. And you want to add another day during the week where you need another exercise to put some volume to your workout, and also to start to familiarize with this position of one hand. So the archer pull-up is a perfect one. However, at some point you'll find out that the archer pull-up, at least on the bar, because on the ring is another type of exercise, at least on the bar, is gonna become